Very good. Thanks. Just want to go over the ground rules real quick before we get going. What we're going to do is we're going to go race by race, starting with Waller County Precinct 4 Constable. We have 3 races with more than one candidate here tonight. So we'll start with Waller County Precinct 4 Constable, then we'll go to Waller County Sheriff, and then we will go to State Representative District 3. All of these are Republican primary contests. That's the order we will go in. Just to, again, go through some of the ground rules. For each race, we'll have the candidates come up here, and we'll go through some formalities, and I'll go over those in a minute. Then when that race is done, the candidates for that race will be asked to sit down. At the end of the forum tonight, everyone is invited to stick around and ask questions and talk informally with the candidates for as long as you like until we have to vacate the facility. Which is what time? 7:30? 7:30. Okay, so here are the rules for each race. Each candidate's going to be given a chance for 1 minute opening statement. The order will be determined by coin flip or in the State Rep District 3 race by drawing straws. The person who's first in the alphabet will be either asked to call the coin or pull the straw, and you don't have any choice. You can't decline. After opening remarks by each candidate, each candidate will then have 1 minute to respond to the opening remarks, and we'll go in a reverse order from the initial response. After the opening statements and the response, we'll open it up for any questions and answers, and the objective that we'll have is to try to distribute any questions and answering time equally among the candidates if there are questions. But I'm going to try to limit it to no more than 5 minutes per candidate per race. If it goes less than that, that's fine too. Okay, then after the Q&A part, then each candidate will be given, again, 1 minute to sum up. So they'll be, in a 2-candidate race, they'll be given their closing statements in the same order as the opening statement. So it flips in between. In the 3-candidate race, we'll rotate it. Okay, with apologies in advance if I seem rude for cutting anybody off, I'm going to strictly enforce the time limits. Adam here has a piece of paper. When you've got 20 seconds left, he's going to hold that up so that you can see it. Hopefully you can see it from up here. And then when your time is up, you are going to hear, whoops.
Keep talking.
Well, I'll get it here. I'll get it.
You didn't hear that?
Well, I'm technologically challenged here. My apologies. There will be an alarm from the phone, okay? And it's an unmistakable sound. So you'll know that your time is up. So those are the rules. And at this point, I'd like to invite Doug Carr and Joe Trimm up.
That the noise?
You'll hear it when Okay, so Doug, I'm going to ask you.
So you get to call.
You get to call heads or tails. Now let's see. There's the heads and there's the tails. Heads it is. So you get to go first, or I guess if this were a football game, you can defer to the second half, I suppose.
We're ready now?
Yep, go ahead.
My name is Doug Carr. I appreciate you inviting me down here tonight. I'll tell you a little bit about myself in a minute. I joined the United States Marine Corps in 1970, and I honorably discharged in 1976, and I joined the Houston Police Department. And since 76 to 2004, I was a full-time police officer. 2004, I got out and went into the business world, and since 05, I've been working for Constable Duke Sharif Bay as a reserve officer, where I'm now a captain over all of our reserve officers. I decided I wanted to run for Constable, and I've been here before, and this is where I decided to run. I think I've got the qualifications to do it. There's not a whole lot of things that I can change or do anything with, but I would appreciate your vote, appreciate your help.
Thank you. I'll tell you, just so that you can hear it, I'm going to let the clock run down here. Okay. Okay. Joe,
Hi, I'm Joe Trimm. I'm a constable here at Precinct 4. Been a resident of Waller County approximately over 20 years. Been in law enforcement in South Waller County for 25 years. Started off with the city of Brookshire back in the 80s. Went to the sheriff's department, worked there throughout the 90s. Then ran for constable and won. This is starting my 16th year here as constable. Really enjoy working for the people of Precinct 4. Get to know a lot of people. Our department's small, but we're growing. This whole south end of Waller County is growing phenomenal. If you've ever been out to some of our new subdivisions going in, they're going in pretty hot and heavy, and they're going to continually grow. Plus, the way of food's coming in later on in the next couple of years is going to be a major project. I tend to keep growing our department. I've got 6 deputies right now working for us. They're part-time or reserves, but they do come out and work quite a bit. I'm a full-time constable here right now. This is my only job, and I would like to continue to keep working for the people of Precinct 4.
Are you out here rehearsing? Okay, now we go in reverse order for response. So Joe first, and then Doug. So you can keep going.
Oh, I really don't have anything else to say. Just that it's been a privilege to be here for this many years. So I know a lot of people here in this part of the county, and I hope to continue to keep on working for everybody here and build up our department. Waller County is going to grow. We've got to grow with it. Thank you.
Doug?
For those of you who don't know, the constables in Waller County are the ones that are paid. They're not paid very much, unfortunately. And all the reserves, his 6 reserves he's got, are wonderful people. I don't know them, but I guarantee you they are, because we donate our time, and that's what I do since 05. I've donated my time towards Waller County and constituents here, and I want to keep doing that if you'll elect me as constable. I'll be a full-time constable like Joe is. It'll be my only job, and I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate your vote and your help. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the candidates? Steve?
What is the responsibility of a constable?
Which one are you directing?
Primary responsibility of the constable is we're the bailiff and the civil process server for our justice of the peace courts. That's our primary function by the state. But we also are regular peace officers. We go out and work traffic. I have my guys. Mine and my guys are told to back up to the sheriff's department anytime that they have a call that they need more assistance. And also the sheriff's department, if their guys are tied up and they give us alarm calls, cow calls, we'll take any call that they give us. But that's our primary job, is to come out here, and my guys have been told to make sure they patrol all their neighborhoods when they come out, and that's what we do.
Another question?
Quick question for both of you. There's a lot of growth set to be headed this way. If either of you are constables, how do you expect to handle that?
Why don't we let that?
Well, the one way you're going to do it, since the constable's only paid position, you're going to have to build up. There's no limit to reserve deputies. And as Joe well knows, the county's going to have to give us some more cars. He's got one vehicle. And you can't, 6, 8 people can't use one car. So if the county supplies you with more vehicles and more reserve officers that you can get. And what we do, and I don't know how he does it, what I would do, they would come out and work at least 6 to 8 hour shifts. And then I want to require them to work a minimum of 18 hours a month. That's what we do now. And so you put more reserve, you'll have more reserve officers on the road. They're full-time peace officers as far as the state's concerned. So they can do everything in the world, just like you said. They can do traffic, they can do just about anything. So you'll have more part-time people out there, they're just non-paid. And that's how you would supplement this into the county, because you're going to have to, because the growth is coming. We're going to have, sooner or later, from the Water County line as far as we can go, it's probably going to be neighborhood after neighborhood.
He's correct. We got to have more vehicles. It's in our budget. We start our budget meetings here in April. But that's one of our top lists, is we have to have some more vehicles. The more vehicles we got, the more reserves I can put on the street. The more eyes you got out there, the better it is. Plus, it also helps in the deterrent end of it. The more vehicles we've got out there cruising around the road. But eventually, the sheriff's department and the constable department are going to have some more paid officers. Both of them are lacking in them right now. And eventually, constables will wind up with paid deputies. We're looking way on down the future, but it's going to have to be quick because this county's springing up fast.
Any other questions?
Do you have any specific new problems that are coming from the growth in the county? And if so, how do you plan to address those? Either one of you. I just have.
Let's start with Doug, since Joe's answered
Okay.
to her.
Well, since precinct 3, I work there. I'm not sure here, but under normal circumstances, you're going to have more problems. You're going to have, the more families that move out here, you're going to have probably higher traffic incidents going on. You're going to probably end up having some more crime. The more people you come out here, your crime rate's going to go up a little bit. And to stop that is that we need full-time deputies. But if we don't get those as a constable, then you subsidize that with reserves and put as many out there that you afford to do, or that you have vehicles for them to ride, because they can't walk. In this county, they can't use their own car, so we can't use our private vehicles. You have to use the county car.
Do you foresee there are going to be any new issues? Or are they just all pretty much the same thing?
I wish I could. I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you that it's going to be the same or less. I don't know. I'm just assuming the further that the city of Houston moves out this way, we're going to have their crime. We're a veteran community now, but when the city of Houston keeps moving this way, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get crime, and that's just the beast, that we're going to end up fighting.
We're already seeing it in our new neighborhoods. We've already had vehicles had been put up on blocks and their tires stolen off of them. Got a call this week when somebody 10:30 at night was rattling on the doors. We've had some mail thefts out of the mailboxes here on the south end. People stealing checks. It's coming this way. It's already here. It's just a matter of if we got the budgets to move and try to get ahead of it, or at least pace it right now. We're not even being able to pace it right now. It's going to sweep through us pretty quick.
Anyone else? Okay, then at this time, we give you each up to a minute to just wrap up, and we start with Doug.
Okay. If I'm elected constable, one of the things I want to do is make my reserve force a lot bigger. I want to ask the county and the Commissioner's Court for more vehicles so I can do that. I'd like to petition the Commissioner's Court to allow the private vehicles back in use again, because I believe and officers on two-wheel motorcycles can make a difference. You get around faster, you're seen. I'd like to be able to bring that back if they would allow me. What I want to do is, if I can get those part-time officers on the road, is assign them to some, like in Houston does. Some constables there, they assign them to neighborhoods, and they can put a certain amount of time in that neighborhood. And we're going to have to do that in the new neighborhoods and all over Precinct 4. And that's what I would really like to try to do. None of us can promise anything, but like I said before, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Like I said, we are trying to improve our department, getting more vehicles. I don't put on a lot of deputies because I've got applications every week. We get applications, and my chief deputy can tell you we run through a lot of background checks. I watched years ago when I was a sheriff's deputy, the older constables, they hired kids out of the academy, older burnouts, and they wound up being a lot of more problems than they were worth. So I'm very particular about the guys that I hire. I need to know somebody that knows them and gives me a good recommendation. We have had a few come through as far as oral interview boards with us, and they failed, and background checks have been really bad on some of these academies right now are pumping these kids out just because of the money they're making, trying to make police officers. I'm a little bit curious, but we are trying to build up our department with quality people. Thank you.
Well, we thank both of you and appreciate you participating.